Hey tubers and tubettes, my name is David and I live in Northern California. Just getting ready to leave my office here. Had to stop by and drop off a contract. And it's funny because where I'm at over here, there's they got a Kirby salesman office, and it's all these guys. They look a little rough around the edges, but they're all dressed up in suits with vests and everything else to go out and sell Kirby vacuum cleaners. My thought on that has always been, and this is for California Pool Designer, my thought on that kind of work is it's always been where people get into it and it's kind of stacked against you because you're just walking around, you know, knocking on doors, and a lot of people think, wow, that's really sales, you know, but to me that's not sales. It's almost like persuasion. If you're good at persuading somebody and you run into these older people, and a lot of them, they're easier to manipulate is what I should say. So if you're running into that, I just don't know. Kirby vacuum cleaner salesman. So anyway, I went in there and talked to our secretary, Claudia, and was asking her if we had any other sales being brought in by other salesmen, and she said we did. The other guy that works in the office, he's been bringing in some sales, you know. It's weird because I talked to the owner yesterday, and he was telling me that they're going to get rid of the price discount because, you know, this other salesman had brought in some deals and he had them even marked down lower than what our special was to get what we call a minimum commission. So you could end up selling a $60,000 pool and getting an $800 commission. And it's way below, it could be way below what I sell at. I've never sold one below whatever our discount that we're allowed, the maximum discount. I've just never sold one like that. If I can't sell it, I just can't sell it. And I'm not going to try to go back and forth and back and forth. I mean, I did do it one time a long time ago for a Marine Corps veteran, you know, just trying to get it down a little bit lower. But that's not typically how I sell. What I typically do is just get it down as low as I possibly can, and then they either go with it or they, you know, don't go with it. So I'm just kind of wondering, in my business, they should have meetings where they talk about sales and how many pools they've sold and what was the average commission and, you know, how much of a discount was needed and da-da. But they're very close-lipped about all of that stuff, so I really don't know what's going on. And I never even got a number like, oh yeah, we've sold 20-something pools since the beginning of the year. I haven't had any numbers like that, so it's okay. It doesn't really bother me. I just got to do my own thing anyway. But going to the office, you know, I had to pick up a couple of agreements because I've been burning through them. So anyway, that's sales in the pool industry. At the company that I'm at, there's not a lot of involvement, which it can be a good thing or a bad thing. If you really need a lot of help or you need to be babysitted, you know, you're probably not going to make it here because there's not really a lot of help or babysitting going on. But if you're like me, where I'm kind of self-contained, I've been doing it for 40 years, with this company for 29 years, you know, I pretty much know what I need to do. And you just give me a lead, and you don't have to ask me twice. I will call them, I'll take care of it, I'll run the lead. I'm like a perfect employee for somebody because I used to be a pool builder. I used to build pools, so I know what's expected. And a lot of times I'll even take that long look at a person that if it's not somebody that I would have built a pool for when I was building pools, I'm not signing them up because I don't want to have to deal with that customer, you know, and their confusion or not understanding what they're getting, all these things that can come up. So went by, dropped off my 9th contract. So I think I have is it 9th? Can't remember if it's 8 or 9, but my goal is for 30. And let me look real quick. I have it in my book right here. So I'm trying to stay forward and get these things done. Okay, so that was my 8th sale. So that means I have 22 to go. 22 sales to go for the year. And if I do that, it'll be a great year. So here it is, April, and I've already got 8 sales. So I'm happy about that. And it's making me think, ooh, I want to get some of my car stuff done. I mean, I've got to use some of it to pay down, my gas bill and stuff like that. But I do want to get a few things done on my van, and then probably will be my 57 Chevy, because the Hummer runs, and even though I want to get the steering corrected and get some of these other things done, it runs. It can move on its own. So steering might be a little wonky, but it's not it's not like dangerous or anything. It's just a different way that Chevy had hooked up the steering at one point on the 4-wheel drives. But I think we have to go back to a 2-wheel drive steering unit to make it work the way we want to have it work. So that'll be good. I'll have a tighter steering box, and it'll still be power steering, and then a longer arm on it. And this is something that not a lot of people can do. I have to have a shop, and I have to have Vinny. Vinny has to do it for me because he knows exactly what the issue is. So, and then I've got these panels and doors that I want to put on my Hummer, and the windshield. So, but that's not going to make it run any better. So I have these other cars. I have to get them out of my uncle's eventually. So I think we'll probably be working on that 57 GMC next. So I probably will have to bring the 56 GMC and the 57 GMC over there so that I can rebuild the front end, because the damage was done to the front end, and I have a whole front end on my 56, which we're going to use it as a pattern, but we're going to have to pull some of the parts off of that, and then I'm going to have to powder coat it before I can put it back together. But I'm kind of hoping that I'll be able to find those parts. I don't even know what the name of some of these parts are. They're like fender braces, fender radiator support braces, for a 57 GMC. So I don't even know the name of it, but I know Vinny can tell me, and then I can look around on eBay or whatever and try to find one and replace it back on the 56. So I just have to decide whether I want to have another 56 GMC, with a whole nice bumper system, or whether I want to do the 53 Ford and put it on my Chevy 4-wheel drive frame. I mean, I could go either way. I have 2 bodies for 53 with 2 registrations, so easily I could sell those if I don't want to do it. But I'm really torn as to which way to go, because I feel like I just need the 157 Chevy that's going to be all done with all my new chrome parts on it. So, anyway, just rambling, but thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.